It happened in less than 1 minute. Two earthquakes, back to back, just 39 seconds apart, and in that 1 minute, thousands of people lost their homes, their families, and their lives. This is Venezuela, June 24th, 2026. And what happened here is one of the deadliest natural disasters in the history of Latin America. Stay with us, because this story is about real people in real pain right now. Let's go back to the evening of June 24th, 2026. It was a national holiday in Venezuela, the anniversary of the Battle of Carabobo. Most people were at home with their families. Kids were playing, families were eating dinner together. At exactly 6:04 in the evening, the ground started to shake. The first earthquake hit at magnitude 7.2. That alone is massive, powerful enough to bring down buildings. But then, just 39 seconds later, a second, even bigger earthquake struck. Magnitude 7.5. The strongest earthquake to hit Venezuela in over 100 years. Both earthquakes started near San Felipe in the Yaracuy region, but the destruction spread fast. The hardest hit places were La Guaira, a port city just north of the capital, and Caracas itself, a city of millions of people. In La Guaira, entire apartment buildings collapsed like sandcastles. In Caracas, towers crumbled to the ground. The international airport roof partially fell in and had to be shut down immediately. People ran into the streets in panic. Dust clouds swept through the city. Families screamed for loved ones buried under concrete and rubble. It was chaos. Pure, terrifying chaos. Now let's talk about what the numbers tell us. And they are heartbreaking. As of today, at least 920 people have been confirmed dead. More than 4,500 people are injured. But here is the number that will stop you cold. Over 50,000 people are reported missing. 50,000. That is not a mistake. That is the reality on the ground right now. Rescue teams say hundreds, possibly thousands, of people are still buried alive under collapsed buildings as you watch this video. And scientists at the U.S. Geological Survey have warned that the final death toll could exceed 100,000 people. 100,000! This could become one of the deadliest earthquakes in the entire history of the Americas. Why are so many people still missing? Because roads are blocked. Communications are broken. Some areas have not been reached yet. And Venezuela's government has been accused of limiting media coverage, making it even harder for the world to know the true scale of this disaster. Let me paint you a picture of what life looks like in Venezuela right now. Thousands of families are sleeping on the streets tonight. They are too scared to go back inside their homes because the government warned that aftershocks could still bring more buildings down. People are sharing photos of their missing relatives on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram, begging strangers for any information at all. Ordinary citizens have built their own websites just to track who is alive, who is missing, and who has been found. Hospitals are completely overwhelmed. Doctors and nurses are being called in from all over the country. Venezuela's acting president appeared on national television and said, "We need every single doctor and nurse to come to work right now. People are dying." The government turned off the gas supply across the city to prevent explosions inside collapsed buildings. And here is what makes this even harder to hear. Venezuela was already struggling before this earthquake. The economy was broken. Hospitals already had no medicine. Power cuts were a daily problem. This disaster has hit a country that had very little left to give. But the world is responding, and it is responding fast. Mexico, El Salvador, and the Dominican Republic sent rescue convoys that arrived just 2 days after the earthquake. Chile and Colombia are sending emergency teams and medical supplies. Even the United States, which has a very complicated political relationship with Venezuela right now, announced it would help. Rescue crews from Virginia and California have been deployed. American aircraft are capturing aerial images of remote areas that are too damaged to reach by road. The United Nations stepped in as well, calling on Venezuela's government to open up social media access so that families can search for their missing loved ones more freely. Medical organizations are rushing medicine, surgical supplies, and wound care equipment into the country. The world is watching. The world is helping. But the need is enormous, and it is growing every single hour. Here is a question worth asking. Why was the damage so catastrophic? Venezuela sits on a fault line, a crack deep in the earth, between two massive tectonic plates, the Caribbean plate and the South American plate. When those plates push against each other, Venezuela shakes. Scientists have always known this, but over the years, as Venezuela's economy collapsed, many buildings were never built to survive a major earthquake. Old buildings, poor construction, cheap materials. In a powerful earthquake, these things kill people. That is why entire apartment blocks came down in seconds. That is why the airport roof collapsed. That is why so many thousands of people are still buried right now. This was a natural disaster, yes. But the scale of death and suffering was made far worse by years of poverty, broken infrastructure, and a government that could not protect its own people. Venezuela needed help before June 24th. Today, it needs a miracle. Rescue workers are still digging through the rubble. Families are still waiting for answers. And somewhere under the collapsed buildings of La Guaira and Caracas, people are still alive, hoping that someone finds them in time. We will keep following this story, every update, every number, every life. If this video helped you understand what is happening, please share it. The people of Venezuela need the world to know their story. Subscribe for more coverage, hit the notification bell, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think the world needs to do right now to help? I will read every comment. See you in the next one.